boy. If you're just showing up now, be careful. Right out on side West University Parkway, there is a tree that has literally been uprooted. So be careful with parking and getting to the stadium here this afternoon. With that, we are underway here in Game 1 on Day 2 of the JHU Invitational. Trinan starts things off for the Blue Jays, and he sends this one on down for Pablo Martinez. And we have our first call of the game going against the Blue Jays. Free kick now coming for Drew. The Drew Rangers coming in at 2-1-0 on the year, and played yesterday. They took on St. John Fisher in the second of two, I should say, right after the. Boy, what an ending it was to the first game here between the Blue Jays and Mary Washington. We'll get to that a little bit later. Connor Jacobs now with Trinan now. Trinan getting another start from Coach Appleby here, the freshman, along with Alejandro McLean back in the starting lineup for the first time at home here this season. Wet conditions, really, really wet conditions. Talked to a few of the players yesterday post-game and just kind of what their strategy was. And, well, some of them didn't really have a strategy because it was so difficult out there to play balls. They just played as they normally would. Now, Creedon swings it on off to Brian Lenzer at the top of your screen, another freshman. Here comes a ball for Creedon. Up ahead now for the Blue Jays, and Garrett Church runs out of room. In the net here this afternoon for the Rangers is number 41, Jason Adamo, the 5'10 goalkeeper from Roxbury, New Jersey. Rangers in the dark blue with white lettering here, and now Pablo Martinez. Jockeys for position. Nobody's there. Nice cross from the sophomore, but Connor Jacobs is there to try and keep things in play. R.J. Moore now finds Martinez, and now here comes Pablo trying to control this one before it goes on out of bounds. You can literally see the rain coming off the turf, spraying everywhere. And now Martinez shakes a defender, swings this one on in the right side, and that one's deflected by a Ranger defender right there in front of Adamo's box. Trinan now coming up and applying the pressure on Aiden Skirts. Here comes the ball now being crossed by the Rangers. Handled by Sahid. Excuse me, that's LaRocca, 5'11", sophomore from Marlboro, New Jersey. There's Cole Rosenberger now heading this one up, looking for Pablo Martinez, but could not connect. Here comes a ball for R.J. Moore. He leaves it for Garrett Church. Church is running down, and Adamo is there first. Rangers are coached by Lenny Armith in his 27th season at the helm at Drew. Springfield graduate of '84. Now R.J. Moore chased by a couple Ranger defenders. Creedon now on the bottom of your screen over to Trinan. Rosenberger in the backfield now, just in case. And Trinan decides to go back to Lefevre, who's chased by Matt Asante. Lefevre getting the start again from Coach Appleby here this afternoon after allowing that overtime goal yesterday as the University of Mary Washington danced on in the first round of the JHU Invitational. That came just a few minutes in, I believe 6 and change into that first overtime period, and it was a tough play. It was a great cross off the corner by the Eagles. And Justin Carey headed it in for his second goal of the game to hand the Blue Jays their first loss of the season. Brian Lenzer now up ahead. That one snuck on by McLean. McLean thinks it was last touched by the Rangers. Let's see what the call is. He can't believe it. Goal kick now coming. Last touch by the Blue Jays. Well, opening minutes here. Day 2, JHU Invitational. It is so wet, rainy, windy that you can barely even see out of the press box. Tough conditions here to start off the 2018 season for sure. Creedon now for Rosenberger. And now over to Trinan on the bottom of your screen. And there's a push from behind there on Anthony McMine. Garrett Church didn't like it. They had some words for one another. But a free kick now coming on the foul by the Rangers. As you take another look here, Church gets pushed from behind pretty blatantly there. Make sure he knows about it. Play continues. Throw in now coming for the Rangers. Still a good crowd here. We got some tents going on in the Homewood Field bleachers. The diehards. And thank you for those of you on the other end that decided to stay home and tune in to the broadcast from the comforts of your living room or wherever you might be. Got to credit the students yesterday, too. They hung on for pretty much the entire first half, and then a bunch of them went to hang out underneath the Cordish Lacrosse Center under that rooftop and watch the second half from there. And it did not let up. Blue Jays pretty much played all of yesterday in substantial downpour rain. Now Rosenberger and this defense set things up. And it is so wet that I can barely even see out of the press box window. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. The papers are going to suffer, but we have to do it. Broadcast goes on as we approach the 8-minute mark. Connor Jacobs will handle the throw-in for the Blue Jays. Trinan now fighting for position. Coming up with it, though, are the Rangers, and that was started by McMine. Everybody's slipping and sliding everywhere, and now here comes an opening for the Rangers, but an offside is called on Drew, and that will go against number 5, Matt Asante. Creedon now leaves it up ahead for Jacobs, who touches it one time and just missed Garrett Church there on the break. And this one sneaks out of bounds. Had some funky spin on that one. McLean now trying to handle the tough conditions. Crosses this one into Jacobs, who just misses that one far left. A good go there by the Jays, who already look like they have a little bit of a spark in them offensively here early. A good positive sign for the Blue Jays coming off of that one-goal performance just a day ago. As you take another look at the cross coming in here, nicely done. Oh, and Jacobs almost. You probably want that one back later on. Jacobs now continues to play on. Creedon gets shoved out of bounds there. He's okay. And now a throwing coming for the Rangers. You got to be careful with, there's just so many freak things that can happen in these types of conditions. Luckily, Creedon didn't go crashing into the fence. Went right through the fence, actually. Asante now Tried to get that one through Rosenberger's defense, but could not. And now McLean leaks this one on up. And instead of just grabbing it, Adamo decided to play around with it a little bit, which Pablo Martinez opened up a small little window. Now here comes the throw in for the Blue Jays. Creedon now gets tripped up. Everybody hitting the deck easily today. R.J. Moore is going to keep this thing one involved. Trinan now, just trying to stay on his feet. The rain's coming in so hot. Rosenberger now leaves it for Church. Adamo now gets that one out of harm's way as Alejandro was applying some serious pressure. I had a pretty cool conversation after yesterday's game with 3 Blue Jays players, Julito Quintana, Pablo Martinez, and Alejandro McLean, and I learned that they all grew up within the same area of Connecticut, which I knew because of the roster, but I didn't know, but it makes sense, that they all grew up playing one another competitively. Rival schools, travel programs, they all played in Connecticut, and it was a cool little exchange that I had with the 3 guys. They were making fun of each other, making a few jabs. Just goes to show you that high school competition can really carry over, and then what a small world for all 3 of them to have international backgrounds, mind you, and then end up on the same team here in Baltimore. 12 minutes into our first half. We're still scoreless. Bob Trossett with you on HopTV. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. Game 2 of the JHU Invitational. And as we always do, hop on Twitter and let me know where you might be tuning in from today. And if you're enjoying the broadcast or not, you can tweet and follow me at Bob Trossett MBCS, as you see right there to the right of the score bug. Looking forward to hearing from you, and I'll announce some tweets as they start to come in, as I always do for our loyal listeners. Asante now up ahead. Trying to handle it before he went out of bounds there was Nate Race, and now he's slow to get up after being pushed from behind and then slipping. It was a combination of both. Luckily, he didn't go into the scorer's table there, or else that could have gotten ugly. Martinez hits the deck, and now he's slow to get up. Both teams exchanging blows here in the early part of this first half. Now a 2-man game at the top of your screen. Ben Bay working with Alejandro McLean. Now Creedon with it. He's going to spread it out for Trinan. Trinan up to Jacobs. And now Jacobs and Correa are all tangled up. And now we have a call going against the Rangers. Here come the Jays. Connor Jacobs with a touch. Correa still applying serious pressure to Jacobs. Nicely done dancing around him. Back to Creedon in the middle. Creedon now off to Brian Lenzer, the freshman. And a misplay there, miscommunication offensively for the Jays. They'll get away with it. We'll stay right here. NFL Sunday back in play today. Ravens taking on the Bills at M&T Bank as Garrett Church gets a good ball on that one, but Adamo is able to eat that one up for the Rangers for his first save of the afternoon. Redskins travel to Arizona. They'll face the Cardinals for your DMV football fix. We got our own version of football going on here today, though. And now a throw-in coming as Nate Race was slow to get up there for the Rangers. Connor Jacobs wisely gets rid of that one, not allowing the Rangers to advance anything here. Xander has not had to do too much in the net for the Blue Jays here through the first 15 and a half minutes. Now, nice play by Rosenberger there to get a foot in it, and now here come the Blue Jays. McLean now working with Rosenberger. Rosenberger finds Garrett Church. He's all alone, and now he decides to try and swing it, but it was deflected by McMine. He's been disruptive here this afternoon for the Rangers thus far. And now Xander tried to get rid of that one, but it was deflected by Aiden Surhop. Throw in now coming for the Blue Jays. Nicely done by Tim Trinan to get in there to disrupt that attempt by Asante, who really got a good piece on that one, but Trinan stood in strong. And now he swings it on back to Xander Lefevre to reset this defense and trying to transition into something. Lenzer now up ahead for Church. Church on over to R.J. Moore, and now here comes Ben Bay at the top of your screen. He's going to go in and swing this one on up, and it sneaks off the head of Ian Sawicki. Sawicki, the 6'1 junior from South River, New Jersey. Couple lopsided wins for the Drew Rangers so far in 2018. Began their season defeating Marymount on August 31st, 4-0. And then they went on to lose against Centenary, 1-0. And then just absolutely went off on FDU Florham for a 6-0 win. So they can score the ball. But the Blue Jays have a defense that has something to say about that. Martinez now off the deflected pass, ended up right in his lap, and he got pulled there with no call. He didn't like it. As the wind continues to rail us in the press box here, I'm trying to make sure our equipment's good. It has let up a little bit, but the wind just continues and making it really tough for players to handle balls here. I mean, it's just so difficult. You see guys slipping all over the field. Talked to a few of the guys yesterday, as I mentioned, after the game, and they were just frustrated because they thought that obviously this team coming off just a dominant year thinks they can beat anybody. But I think in talking to a few of the guys after the game, they just felt like they left a lot out there, and maybe that was due to the conditions. Here comes a low liner now. You'll see a lot of those today, especially the corners. So much can happen when it starts slipping and sliding as Jacobs takes that one almost to the chest. Connor Jacobs smothered by a couple Ranger defenders. Now Trinan working with it. And Rosenberger takes care of business and gets this one out of harm's way for the time being. Jacobs now on the bottom of your screen. No handball called there, close. And now R.J. Moore leaks this one on up. Martinez is chasing. First to get there is Nico. And now Rosenberger. Up ahead for Creedon. Creedon to Ben Bay. Top of your screen, the quick Ben Bay. Ben Bay's father, caught up with him last couple days. He stood with my dog for at least 20 minutes post-game yesterday, and he had the biggest smile on his face. The Bay family loves their dogs. Coming up on that 21st minute. We're scoreless here at Homewood. Just 2 shots on goal for the Blue Jays so far. As Church, right on cue, sends that one high, wide left. And we're 21 minutes into this first half. Here comes a ball up for Asante. R.J. Moore is there to disrupt things for the Blue Jays. Asante has been awfully active so far here this afternoon, as danger now for the Blue Jays, and Rosenberger is there to save it for Johns Hopkins. Oh, it was almost 1-0 Drew. The senior continues to impress this season. He's not only anchoring the defense, he scored a penalty kick, and as you saw right there, he still gets it done defensively as well. That penalty kick came yesterday to tie things up at 1 apiece. And what an acrobatic play from the captain. Here comes a ball now. A left foot boot from McMine. And now Martinez, one-on-one. And now here comes Drew Help. Martinez continuing to apply the pressure. And he's just pushed by LaRocca. And now those two exchange words with the official. Good hard play there by both guys. And now Ben Bay comes away with it just before a whistle comes in. Going against the Blue Jays. Free kick now coming for the Rangers. Take another look here. Both guys just, look, it's just so hard to maintain possession there, as you saw Lenzer on the foul there. Good hard play. And now a big free kick coming for the Rangers. Here it comes, and Lefevre missed it. And with that, Asante on the deflection makes it 1-0 Rangers. And that is one slippery ball that came in there that Xander could not handle. And off the deflection, Asante puts his team up 1-0. You take another look there. That's a tough one there for the Blue Jays in what really should have been a knockdown there for Xander. But we play on, and it's 1-0 in favor of the Rangers. The Blue Jays playing from behind once again. They did not do that very often last year. But as we talked about, it's a new team. Anthony McMinn on the assist there for Asante's goal. As we talked about yesterday, this is a new team. There's new pieces. And there's gonna be some kinks. You got 5 new freshmen, 4 seniors are gone. 4 important seniors, offensively and defensively. So now Asante continues to press the issue here. We're going the other way. A throw-in coming. Last touched by the Rangers. And we'll see how the Blue Jays respond. If you can remember yesterday, that first goal came within the first 6 minutes of the first half. And then in the 34th minute, Rosenberger converted that penalty try. So it'll be interesting to see. Garrett Church now leaves it for Ben Bay. Martinez working with it. A missed touch there from the sophomore. Allows the Rangers to take over possession, leading 1-0. If you're just tuning in, Matt Asante handled the deflection off of Lefevre's hands just moments ago. R.J. Moore now trying to get this one. Rosenberger's there. Creedon as well. And now R.J. comes up with it. Got to get it out of harm's way now. These strikers for the Rangers are tall, athletic, and they got a thick build. A tough cover. And now again the Blue Jays turn it over, but R.J. Moore's there to keep things going. But back and forth we go here. McLean got a foot in there. And now Creedon comes in, and he'll get called for the foul right at the midfield line. Brandon Jimenez went down, and probably due to Creedon's move there. Nicely done by McLean to disrupt that run by Sawicki. But coming up with it now is McMine. And now more guys hit the deck. Ben Bay was over there. Let's see what the call is. It'll go against the Rangers. A quick free kick coming now. Blue Jays working with pace. Trying in now. Was up ahead looking for McLean. But again, Blue Jays unable to maintain possession here through the first half of this first half. Now Xander's going to leave his own box. Grab that one effortlessly. Nice job. And now Creedon shakes a defender. Nicely done by Liam. R.J. Moore now at the bottom of your screen. Up ahead for McLean. Now Connor Jacobs with it. Tries to spread out the field. Martinez now giving chase. Deflected off of a Rangers defender, and we'll go back the other way. This one's leaking on down to Rosenberger. Cole will handle. Sneaks a left-handed pass up. He was looking for Jacobs, but instead, Max Correa was there. And now Adamo will handle this kick up ahead. First to get there, and he went up and got it. Was Andy Imo. McLean now swings it on off to Creedon, who just put a little bit too much on that one. And again, in these conditions, the soccer ball will really slide and almost glide as soon as it hits that soaked turf. Creedon now leaves it for Jacobs. Now here comes Connor. Connor tried to sneak that one up to Martinez. And now off the deflection, Pablo has it. Swings it off to Garrett Church, who tried to one-touch it, and there's a handball called. Now a big opportunity for the Blue Jays here as we creep towards the 30th minute. They'll have a free kick opportunity as you see right there. That was the handball off of Martinez's pass. And one more look at that. That was off of Garrett Church's pass, excuse me. So nicely done two-man game there by Church and Martinez, and they'll be rewarded with it now. Let's see who will handle. Garrett Church tends to take these. Let's see. He's got McLean with him, and it looks like Creedon as well. So Church will line it up. He'll have to get it past the Rangers' wall here in the 30th minute. This would be a big one. Blue Jays will crash on impact. Here comes Church's kick, and it's up, and away off the crossbar of the field goal. But the Blue Jays are rewarded with a corner as you take another look at the Church free kick. Nicely done by Adamo to go up and get it. And it looks like Garrett will handle the corner again. Let's see what they choose to do here. Will they play it safe, or will he go towards the box? He will go towards the box. Adamo's up there, and he gets it. And on the redirect, Alejandro McLean bangs it home for the Jays, and we're up back to 1-1 here at Homewood. Alejandro hung in there tough, and Adamo tried to be the hero. Instead of just grabbing that one, he tried to almost kind of hit it. Let's take another look here. A beautiful cross there by Church. He goes and almost tries to shove it out the way, and Alejandro McLean was smart enough to stay in there and bang it home for the Blue Jays. Yeah, Adamo, we're not sure what he was trying to do. It was almost like he was going for a fist bump type of thing with two fists, but he only did one, and, well, the Blue Jays capitalized on it. So a nice response, though, by the Blue Jays. Let's credit the composure here by Coach Appleby's squad. Cole Bosch enters the game for the Rangers, and we are tied up at 1 here at Homewood. If you're just tuning in, that first goal came earlier on in the half by Asante for Drew, and now here just moments ago, the Blue Jays capitalize on a mistake by the goalkeeper Adamo, and now we are notched up at 1 apiece. Liam Moylan and Arden Chu set to check in at the scorer's table whenever our next dead ball. Tim Trinan now at the bottom of your screen. He was looking up ahead for McLean. And now this one sneaks away from the Blue Jays, and coming up with it is Cole Bosch just into this game. Lenzer's right there to stop progression, and now we have some substitutions coming onto the field. So it's Moylan and Chu for the Blue Jays, both seeing time in this second wave. And Alexi Velasquez for the Rangers. So Coach Appleby has been going back and forth with the lineup that he wants through the first couple games here. This is now the third home game of the season for the Blue Jays. Jonathan Brown now makes his way to the scorer's table. He started yesterday, and if he doesn't start, he's usually one of the first to come off the bench. Arden Chu misplays that one just into the game. Dangerous now here for the Blue Jays. Up 50-50 ball. Xander leaves the net, but Rosenberger is there, and he does it again for the Blue Jays. Huge, huge opportunity for Drew there, and now slow to get up is Andy Imo. And let's make sure he's good, but let's take another look at that replay right there. Xander, a dangerous play to go up and get it. And usually it's the other way around there. If a goalkeeper goes after a striker for a 50-50 ball, more often than not, the goalkeeper might end up taking the brunt there, but it was the other way around. Nice job by Xander, but boy, was that dangerous to leave his goal wide open like that. But luckily, he's got his senior captain that's pretty much playing a second goalkeeper here this afternoon. What an effort. And Coach Van Zella is going to have a heart attack with me in the press box up here. He is awfully stressed, but nicely done by Rosenberger. And if I'm seeing the score correctly in the NFL small TV in our press box, it looks like the Ravens have their first touchdown of the year. It's 7-0 over the Bills Mafia. Nicely done by the Ravens down at M&T. And when I was driving up for D.C., you saw all the Bills fans breaking their tables. They're underneath their tents. They don't miss anything. And they certainly don't stay home for weather like this. That one sneaks away from Drew, and now we'll have a goal kick coming for the Blue Jays as the rain continues to pour down here at Homewood. Jonathan Brown, as I mentioned, checks back into this game, or checks in for the first time here this afternoon. That whistle, last touch by the Blue Jays. Coming up with it now is McMinn. And now fighting for possession in there is Correa. Blue Jays suffocating defensively right now. Nicely done. Jimenez now enters it in the box. And Xander grabs that one for the Jays. Well, Blue Jays football lost a tough one yesterday. It was 21-21 at half. And this one came down to the last few minutes in this game. They ended up losing 35-37 up at Susquehanna. Blue Jays volleyball continues to dominate into the 2018 year. Women's picked up 2 wins yesterday over NYU and York rather handily. Rosenberger now with a couple of Rangers strikers all over him, and now Trinan left that one up, but back and forth we go here. Chu now, mixing and matching. R.J. Moore sneaks this one on up. Adamo leaves his box. And boy, Adamo is having a tough time grabbing the ball. I mean, as he probably should. He and Xander both seem to be having a tough time just because of these wet conditions. But boy, that was a dangerous play there for Drew. Coming up on the 37th minute here in the first half of play. Bob Trossett with you on HopTV. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. It's day 2 of the JHU Invitational. Trinan now leaves this one for Xander. And now McLean tried to keep that one alive and advancing. But now here come the Rangers in transition offensively. Jacobs comes up on top of that one, and he's awarded the throw-in. Now here come the Rangers. Jimenez saves that one before it goes out of bounds. Lenzer's in there making things happen. And that's last touch by Drew. And a goal kick now coming for the Blue Jays. Christian Carbini enters the game for Drew for the first time this afternoon. And how about that? Look at that shot right there. I mean, that is just, you can see the rain coming down on your screen right now. And it is really tough conditions. I don't think it stopped for 24 hours. I woke up in the middle of the night last night. It was still going. Now here comes Jonathan Brown on the attack for the Blue Jays. And Adamo stands tall for Drew. Take another look here. McLean leaves it for Brown on the attack. And it was just that one touch. That last touch just got away from him, hit a little bit there. And that was all it took. And Adamo, credit Adamo for sticking with that play and hanging in there tough for Drew. Both teams have 5 shots on goal. Xander has 3 saves. 2 saves for the opposing Adamo. Brown now, several Rangers defenders around him. Hitting the deck is Imo. And kind of a petty foul there called against the Blue Jays. Free kick now coming. And handling it is McMinn. McMinn now throws this one on in. Rosenberger's there first, and now we have a whistle. And it's going against the Rangers of Drew. Ravens now up 14-0 right down the road at M&T Bank Stadium. Home opener for Baltimore on our first NFL Sunday. And we are tied up at 1 here inside Homewood Field in a wet and soggy Baltimore, Maryland. Bob Trossett with you up here in the booth. Thanks for being with us this afternoon at the JHU Invitational. Still a couple weeks away from starting conference play. Trinan now lifts that one up and out into the stands. Last touch by the Blue Jays. Throw-in now coming. And now here comes Drew. Xander leaves the box again. He couldn't quite get there. Now Blue Jays collapsing. Another dangerous one there, luckily. Sneaks on by. A nice move here. McLean found a way to deflect that shot by Correa. And now it sneaks out of bounds. Again, another throw-in. Will stay right here with Drew. Approaching that 42nd minute here in the opening half of play. Correa enters it in. R.J. Moore now sneaks this one out and gives the Jays a little bit of breathing room. Cole Bosch now try to get that one past Rosenberger, and now Correa comes up with it, and he's going head-to-head with Jacobs, and he is awarded a throw-in. Here comes a low liner now. Ben Bay coming up on it, and that one is snuck up and gobbled up by Xander. Nice job by the sophomore staying down on it there. Here comes the ball up ahead now as we just over 2.5 minutes left in this second half, and now Alejandro McLean is down, holding his chest, it looks to be. May have gotten the wind knocked out of him there. Training staff holds on a second as the official checks on Alejandro, and now they send him out there. McLean still down as Rosenberger checks on his teammate. Nice sportsmanship there by Jimenez. You hope that it's just a little bit of a wind knockout there. So 42-40 into this first half of play. We're notched up at 1 thanks to goals from Matt Asante and Alejandro McLean. But McLean is down right now, and he's now sitting up. Still slow to get up, but now he's getting up on his own power and walking off. So nicely done by Alejandro. Hopefully he can get himself all rested up during the halftime and be back ready to rock for the second half. Doesn't look like it's anything leg related, nothing like that. We'll take a look and see how he's doing on the sideline here. It looks like, yep, that's pretty much the sign. That tells me that, first off, he's going back to the scorer's table. What a tough guy. All right, Alejandro's back in the game. I don't think he ever left. What a tough guy. Alejandro is a tough guy. Always good to talk to Alejandro. It's good that he's up and rocking for the Blue Jays. Yep, there he is right now, still mixing it up just minutes later. And there he was called on a foul there, so back the other way we go. Rosenberger tries to get this one before it sneaks out of bounds, and he does. Connor Jacobs now off to Arden Chu. And now Adamo. That one's fired into the crowd. Off of the foot of Liam Moylan on the deflection. As we come up on our final minute here in the first half. Ben Bay giving chase. Lenzer comes up with it. Here comes the freshman on the top of your screen. Fighting for position. Comes up with it, and it's deflected out of bounds off of LaRocca. Under a minute to go now here in this opening half of play. Tied up at 1. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. Goals have been scored by Matt Asante for Drew. And Alejandro McLean off of a deflected Adamo. Go up and get it, you might say. And now another Blue Jay is slow to get up. And it looks to be Ben Bay as the training staff getting their money's worth here this afternoon. At least Ben Bay is up, though. And he looks to be okay. Looks to be favoring that right leg a little bit. Let's see what Ben chooses to do. So Ben's going to come off the field, so now we have to get one more player on. Blue Jays are playing down right now, and the game starts. So now the Jays are down a man. Coach Appleby can't believe that they started play. Sherendorf's up to try and get in there. Coach Appleby is having a word with the official. And now time stops because they just realized, but Ben Bay runs back onto the field. A bizarre scenario taking place right now here at Homewood. We thought Ben Bay was hurt, which he still looks to be hobbling. We got to get him off the field here. Not quite sure what the official is looking to do here, but the clock stops with 15 seconds left in the half. So now finally Ben Bay gets to come off the field. And now here comes the kick. Alejandro McLean made sure he was in the way of that one as our final seconds here in the first half tick on down. Jonathan Brown launches this one for one final kick in what was. And welcome back into Homewood Field here on the campus of Johns Hopkins University. Back for second half action here at day 2 of the JHU Invitational. Bob Trossa with you on HopTV. Matt Lawrence with you producing today's game. And we are interlocked at 1 heading into the second half of play. Rangers will start with it. Goals have been scored by Matt Asante and Alejandro McLean, who is back out there on the field after being slow to get up there in the late part of that second half, or first half, I should say. Ben Bay's out there as well. So both guys that got kind of banged up are back and looking good. And we are underway. Connor Jacobs now at the top of your screen. Swings it on off for Trinan, who leaves it for Lenzer. And now here comes Ben Bay. Over to Lenzer, and now Martinez with it. He gets thrown to the ground, and a foul will be called here in the opening moments. Going against Drew. Nate Race was called for the push from behind. 5'9" sophomore from Bridgewater, New Jersey. And so the free kick now coming, and Church will set it up. Both teams with 6 shots on goal. Here comes the shot from Church, and Adamo just falls on it. Wisely does not let it skip in this. Now Correa at the top of your screen advances it on up, and misplaying it out of bounds there due to the conditions. It's Tim Trinan. He's racing it down. Rosenberger. A little bit of congestion there at the top of your screen over in the corner. Results in a goal kick now coming for Xander and the Blue Jays. Drew comes in at 3-1 overall on the year. Took down St. John Fisher right here at Homewood yesterday afternoon by a final score of 2-0 in the pouring down rain. Nate Race and Aiden Surhat had the goals for the Rangers as this one sneaks by everybody, and it's corralled by Lefevre. Drew outshot St. John Fisher 22-9. So speaks to that Blue Jays defense today. Really have not allowed much at all. And now we'll have a call going against the Rangers. And now that one was a little quick. We'll bring it on back and do that one over. Jumped the gun a little bit there, says the official. And now Ben Bay says he can't do it, so he will come off the field, and Nate Sherendorf will come back in. And let's see if the training staff decides to check on Ben. See if it's related to that first half issue he was having. It seems to be. It seems to be that right leg. And he's being checked on by training staff. We'll get you updates here in the coming moments as he hits the ground. And now McLean with a little bit of an opening. Alejandro's picked up by McMinn, and now he leaves it for Sherendorf, who runs it down. And back the other way we go now, picking his pocket was Tyler Quack. McLean now sends this one on down, and there's a lot of contact down there, and there's no call. The call goes against Johns Hopkins, and now a yellow card comes out after Pablo Martinez let the official hear it. After what looked to be a pretty blatant call that was missed there. So now here comes the kick after a call that left the Johns Hopkins faithful here absolutely miffed. We'll play on. Garrett Church now is on the other end. Good sportsmanship there, but a yellow card goes. So several yellow cards now exchanged within the last few minutes. This one is going to go against Drew. And now Rosenberger will have a word with the official to perhaps get some clarification. So Rosenberger setting up his free kick just behind the midfield line. He sends this one on up. Sherendorf was the first to get there. And now Creedon comes up with it. Guys hitting the deck everywhere. Creedon comes back, makes sure he finds Trinan. Church now. Back off to Creedon. And now Liam will enter this one on in up ahead looking for Sherendorf. McLean now comes back in, and a nice header to get it out of harm's way by Serhat. Five minutes and change into this first half. Corner kick now coming for Garrett Church. That one misses everybody. Nice stance there by Drew. And now Rosenberger enters this one on in. Here they come. Sherendorf now tried to get that one going with the left foot, but just missed it a little bit off to the left, and that one trickles on out of bounds. Throw in now coming for Drew. Here comes the ball now. Chasing this one down is Cole Bosch. Rosenberger's right there. A little bit of one-on-one. Coming up with it now are the Rangers. Here they come on the attack. Now Creedon sneaks this one out. Stays right here. And this one now trickles on out of bounds. Blue Jays will handle. Lefevre now lines up the goal kick. Here comes a 50-50 ball now. Trinan comes up with it. Up ahead now for Church. Church just missed Connor Jacobs. And that one sneaks out of bounds. Nice move there to shake a defender for LaRocca. And now McLean going back and forth with LaRocca, and he'll get called for the hands-on foul there. So free kick now coming. Handling it will be McMinn. McMinn dumps it off. And there's Asante, who scored first goal of the game, as Lefevre dives on that one. 4 saves for the sophomore. Xander now with R.J. Moore. Trying to get it out of here. Dangerous play there. Creedon miscommunicated that ball. Asante now couldn't handle that one, and it sneaks on out of bounds. Lenzer will handle the throw-in for Johns Hopkins. Lenzer now leaves it for Rosenberger. And now here comes Brian. Brian with some room to run, sneaks this one on up. Is there an offside call? No. Adamo came flying out there to get a foot on that one. Everybody hitting the deck. Here comes McLean now. McLean tried to get that one up to Jacobs. And we have a whistle. Looks like this will go against Drew. Good change of momentum here now. As the rain continues to come down here in Baltimore. Garrett Church will line up this free kick. Here's the kick from Church. It's a low liner. Smart play on a day like this. You never know what kind of bounce you might get. Now Lenzer fighting for it, making sure this ball doesn't advance, along with Trinan, the 2 freshmen, taking care of business. Nice job by not allowing that one to advance. Martinez now. He's got numbers with Sherendorf. Here comes Nate. Splits a defender. Nate to his left. And that one was misplayed by Creedon. Not sure what he was thinking on that one, but that one sneaks away. And a goal kick now coming for Adamo and the Rangers. Here comes a boot from Adamo now. Creedon now plays it for Connor Jacobs. Jacobs always using his body. And somehow that one was last touched by Drew. So a throwing coming for the Blue Jays. Oh, excuse me. No throwing. There's a foul called going against Drew. And Trinan will handle the little one-toucher. And now back to Rosenberger to reset. That one sneaks out of bounds. Last touched by LaRocca. And Drew. Lenzer enters it in. Lenzer. Back down to Rosenberger. Lefevre. Now the top of your screen is Tim Trinan. Trinan shakes a defender. Up ahead now for Jacobs, who kept it in bounds. Alejandro to Jacobs. Now off to Martinez. And now here comes Garrett Church with some room to run. Couple defenders smothering him, closing in. Sherendorf finds a way to come up with it. He hits the deck, and now a foul will be called against Drew. It's number 24, Tyler Quake. Creedon now sends this one on up for Sherendorf. He keeps it in bounds with his head, but Coming up with it is LaRocca, and now he leaves one for Asante, but right there is Xander Lefevre to grab that one before it goes to harm's way. Garrett Church now up ahead. He leaves it for Jacobs. Giving chase is Sawicki. Jacobs. That one Sawicki touched last. And now R.J. Moore sends this one on down. He's looking for McLean. Alejandro is swallowed up by Adamo. He knows he missed an opportunity there. But a nice job by Adamo to stay in there and keep that one from deflecting off of his body. And let's take another look at how this one happened. Oh, Alejandro somehow comes up with it and just couldn't quite get enough of it on that left foot try. So a nice job by Adamo, and now we go back the other way as the rain continues to fall harder and harder here at Homewood. Here comes Asante. He leaves it. Back and forth. 50-50 ball up in the air for Jacobs. Slow to get up is Nate Race. He scored a goal just a day ago. Here comes the ball, and it's buried into the body of Xander Lefevre. Good play by Xander in these conditions. Xander now up ahead. McLean got a touch on it. Martinez looking for a call. Plays on. Just to give you an update on Ben Bay, he is up and walking around. Still being checked on by the training staff, though. He's got some ice on that right knee. So let's hope that Ben is okay. Rosenberger now up ahead. Sherendorf got a piece of it. Coming up with it, though, is LaRocca. That one sneaks out of bounds. Last touched by Drew. Throw in to be handled by Sherendorf. Again, it sneaks out of bounds. Will that be a corner or a throw-in? Let's see what the call is. Either way, Garrett Church will take it, and it will be a corner try for the Blue Jays. Let's see what Church is able to do here. Remember how they scored last time. It was a corner on the opposite end. And this time it's a low liner again from Church, but Drew gets away with it. Throw in now coming again, staying right here with the Blue Jays. R.J. Moore will leave it for Lenzer. And now Lenzer with numbers, surveying what he has up ahead for Sherendorf. Sneaks past a defender, but coming up with it is Nate Race. Here comes Jimenez in the open field. He finds Cole Bosch. Rosenberger's right there to stop momentum. Keeping it going, though, is Nate Race. Both Race and Rosenberger hit the deck, and now Race is slow to get up, grabbing his right leg. Down on the other side, though, this one sneaks out of bounds. It's last touched by the Blue Jays. And let's take another look at this collision here between Rosenberger and Race. The slide tackle from Cole really did it for Race, but he looks to be okay as he's up and running right now. He's still limping a little bit. The throw-in awaits now for LaRocca. Nate Race will stay in this game, it looks like. However, still limping. And now this one is left for Adamo. He launches it on down. He's looking for Asante, who gets a head on it, though. And we have a call that will send this the other way, going against Drew, and it looks to be Nate Race. Quickly working now are the Blue Jays. Lenzer sends this one on down for Church. Garrett working off to his right, and there's nobody there. He thought Sherendorf might cut, but he didn't. Sherendorf now leaves it for Martinez. Adamo leaves his box and grabs it for the Rangers. 10 shots on goal for the Blue Jays. 6 for Drew. We're interlocked at 1 thanks to first half goals from Matt Asante of Drew and Alejandro McLean for the Blue Jays. This one sneaks out of bounds. Last touched by Hopkins. Throw-in will be handled by LaRocca. Couple substitutions now coming in for Drew. Aiden Surhat along with Andy Imo for the Rangers. Anthony McMinn now dicing with it. Sherendorf gets away with a push from behind, hitting the deck several times was Quake. Now here comes Drew on the attack. Nicely done by trying to get a foot in there. Now here comes Creedon with some room to run. Creedon now sends this one on down, and it sneaks up over the white line out of bounds. Goal kick now coming. Ravens up on the Bills in the NFL, 20-0. Jaguars lead the Giants 13-6 at halftime. Buccaneers up on the Saints just before halftime, 31-24. Patriots up on the Texans, 14-6 with just over a minute left in the second. At the half, 49ers trail the Vikings 10-3. As you take another look at this call right here, hitting the deck. Pretty easy call there for the official. And now a big kick coming up here for the Blue Jays. Will Creedon or Garrett Church take it? Looks to be Church. Let's see what they do. Got to get it over this initial wall being formed by the Rangers. Sherendorf and Moore down on the line. Okay, it's a fake. Here comes a low liner. Creedon ended up taking it. Sherendorf on the attack, and Sherendorf buries it for the Jays. That's about as close to an upper 90 as it gets. And Rosenberger and the crew slide in as they celebrate. It's a frenzy down here on the Blue Jays sidelines. A filthy goal by Sherendorf. Jays lead 2-1. Take another look here. Nicely done by the Blue Jays. Sherendorf splits a defender, comes back to his left, now swings it on off.
Goal scored by number 16, Nate Sherendorf. Assisted by number 19, Liam Creedon. Time to goal.
Creedon on the assist there. We'll get that goal replay in a minute here. That was a different one. Sorry about that. But Sherendorf, big, big, big goal. Big goal from Sherendorf. It was a thing of beauty. Blue Jays now lead 2-1. And now Lefevre. So that was the 11th shot on goal now for the Blue Jays. Again, a number that they're usually way above, but all things considered, conditions related. And being that they are a new look team, got to keep climbing with that number. Garrett Church now saves that one before it goes out of bounds. And a Drew Ranger is slow to get up. Looks to be Imo. Andy Imo, the 6'2 junior from Sugar Land, Texas. Gets up on his own power. I tell you, it has to be so difficult just to stay up on your 2 feet in these types of conditions. You can visibly see the guys just treading lightly as they run, if that's even possible. Trying to stay upright. So Asante comes in to replace Imo, and he scored that first half goal for Drew. And he can be a weapon offensively for sure. Stands at 6'2", 185 pounds, from Staten Island, New York. And now Pablo Martinez runs down to handle the throw-in for the Blue Jays. Coming up on that 67th minute now. 2-1 lead for your Blue Jays. Thanks for being with us here this afternoon. Day 2 of the JHU Invitational. A matchup between 2 3-1 teams here in Division III soccer. That sneaks out of bounds. Thrown to be handled by the Blue Jays. Connor Jacobs will take it. Jacobs up ahead for Pablo Martinez. Hitting the deck there was Pablo. Easy call for the official. Foul will go against the Drew Rangers. And good things tend to happen when Garrett Church is in the middle of these types of free kick opportunities. Let's see what he decides to do here. He lines up with Creedon. Now Creedon will just give a little touch pass now. That one's deflected off of Trinan's foot and snuck out of bounds by Drew. Throw-in now coming for the Blue Jays. Throw-in now coming. Handled by Sherhat. And now booted up ahead by LaRocca. Xander leaves the net. It's deflected. Wide open goal, but Trinan's right there. And he took a page out of the Rosenberger playbook there. And Trinan saves this one from going 2-2. Let's take another look. Xander collides with Asante. Asante flies out of there. The redirect. Look at Trinan come out of nowhere to make sure this one didn't get tied up. Nicely done. A great performance by the defense. Mike Swerz is somewhere smiling as his freshman just put down a big-time acrobatic move there for the Jays. So now a throw-in coming for Drew. It's headed away, and we'll do it again. Tim Trinan, the 5'9" freshman from Glendale, California. Played his high school soccer at Flint Ridge Preparatory School. One of 5 freshmen on this Johns Hopkins team. He and Lenzer have both started all 3 games at home this season. Herson Morales has been in and out of the starting lineup as well as the 3rd freshman. We haven't seen Schneiderman yet, Matt Schneiderman, along with Jake Koyman. This one 50-50 ball going up and getting it there, and first to grab it with the head was Connor Jacobs, and now this one is left Sherendorf applying some pressure, handling it offensively there is Quake. And now Quake sends this one on down, looking for Carbini. He can't handle it, sneaks out of bounds. Throw in now coming for the Blue Jays. Handling it is Connor Jacobs. Approaching the 70th minute. Blue Jays just got to hang tight here for the next 20 minutes. And we have a whistle as Pablo Martinez now is the latest Blue Jay to have a tough time getting up. Good sportsmanship by Drew. Carbini made sure he was good, and now Pablo's back up and rolling. Swings it on off to the middle of the field. Spreading it out now is McLean for Sherendorf. Here comes Nate. Sherendorf's going to try and slow things down. Get it to the middle now, but nobody was there. He was up ahead looking for Garrett Church. Miscommunication there. Asante inadvertently gets it to Lenzer, who inadvertently gets it to Quake. Sherendorf now at the bottom of your screen. He's got numbers up front. Tried to look for Martinez, but getting there first was Sherhot. Blue Jays now with some room to run. Here comes Pablo. And that one sneaks out of bounds. Was it deflected? Let's see. Garrett Church thinks it is. It was, and now a corner coming for the Blue Jays. Garrett Church running down to handle it for the white and blue. Church with both hands up. Here comes the kick. He goes high this time, misses everybody. First to getting there is McLean, who tries it again on the deflection. Nothing doing. And now Nate Race comes up with it. Everybody hits the deck. Creedon makes sure that Quake is okay. And now Rosenberger leaves it. Let's take another look at how this one went. Bunch of different volleys. Everybody hits the deck. Tough conditions out there. We've said it much of the last 24 hours. And now here comes a ball sent flying down there by Sherhot. Garrett Church now fighting for possession, going up against Panidi. McMinn now splits a defender, leaves it up. Here comes a dangerous play in front of the box. Getting pushed from behind was Drew. It looks like Nate Race. He can't believe there's no call right in front of the box. So that one could have gone either way for Hopkins. So a big break there as a couple more substitutions come in for Drew. It's Brandon Jimenez and Max Correa. Jonathan Brown comes back in as well. And now Lefevre's kick up ahead for Creedon. Getting there first was McMinn. Approaching the 74th minute, Rosenberger picks the pocket of a Drew striker. Throw in now coming for Quake. And this one's a low liner. First to get there was Creedon to make sure that there was no progression on that ball. Sawicki up ahead. Here comes Drew now. Rosenberger was there to make sure that it didn't get anywhere near the net. And now Rosenberger will have to anchor this defense on the corner. 74 minutes into this one. 2-1 in favor of the Jays. Every corner is important here from here on out. Here it comes. And it misses everybody. It looks to be last touched by Drew, and it is McMinn. So Lefevre now will handle the goal kick as we approach the 75th minute. 2-1 in favor of your Blue Jays. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. On day 2 of the JHU Invitational, Bob Trossett with you in the booth. Matt Lawrence producing this afternoon's game, and Nate Race continues to advance the ball for Drew. Handling the throw-in now is Quake. He leaves it for LaRocca, who swings it on off to the midfield with Sherhot. Sherhot swings it over to Sawicki. Sawicki sees what he has and sends this one on down in a careful play. Last touch by Lefevre. Let's see if Race was out of bounds. And he was, so it'll be a goal kick for the Blue Jays. Nonetheless, nice effort there by Race to try and get Lefevre to touch that one last. Xander sets up the goal kick, sends this one on down. Jonathan Brown gets a touch on it. And now Creedon comes up and leaves it for Jonathan. Halting momentum there was LaRocca. And now coming up with it and resetting is Sherhot. Xander picks that one up as Asante was coming at him. Rain has not stopped, if you can tell from the broadcast. Steady rain the entire time. As Jonathan Brown giving chase, going head-to-head with LaRocca. Tyler Quake at the bottom of your screen. Leaves it for Asante. Lenzer's right there, who picks his pocket. Nice job by the freshman to halt progression. It'll stay right here, though. Last touch by the Blue Jays as we approach the 77th minute. And creep closer and closer towards crunch time here in the second half. Throwing coming, handled by Race. Nice job by Alejandro to make sure he got there in time. He tried to leave it out there and pass it to himself, but LaRocca was right there to make sure he couldn't get any farther. Asante now leaves it for LaRocca. Here comes LaRocca's boot. Trying to get ahead on that one was McMinn, but didn't get it to where he wanted to go, and now Garrett Church chases this one down at the top of your screen. Jacobs sends this one on down. Sherhat's right there. Back and forth we go here in the downpour rain. Crowd wanted a handball call, nothing doing. And now we have a call. It's out of bounds. Throw in. Handled by Jacobs at the top of your screen. Free kick now coming for the Blue Jays after the foul. Is called on Drew. Creedon now handles. Low liner up ahead for Jonathan Brown, and that one snuck away. Last touched by Drew. It'll stay right here. Jonathan will handle the throw-in. He's got Sherendorf in front of him. Church is down here as well, along with R.J. Moore, Alejandro McLean. Lenzer, Trianon, and Rosenberger make up the defense in the backfield. Here comes a throw in for Brown. Creedon keeps this thing alive, but Jimenez enters this one on down. Connor Jacobs is there to make sure it stays around. McLean leaves this one for Jonathan Brown. Here comes Jonathan, and just a misplay by Jonathan. Oh, he had the goal wide open. He's going to be thinking about that one tonight. Oh, Jonathan. As you saw right there, take a look. Beautiful entry pass, and oh, Jonathan, just a missed touch by Brown. They could have made this thing 3-1 and locked it up. But perhaps the conditions could have been related to that touch, or maybe it was just misplayed by Brown. Either way, tough break there for the Jays. But here they come. R.J. Moore leading the break now. He's got numbers. Off to his right is Church. That's who he leaves it for. Church enters this one on down, and a diving stop. Easily made by Adamo. Under 10 minutes to go as we approach crunch time. Take another look at this run right here with Church. Just couldn't get quite enough mustard on that one. Creedon now and McLean working with it, and now at the top of your screen, Connor Jacobs. Asante's with him, sticking with him pretty tight, and McLean. A reset now for the Jays. Ben Bay still icing up that knee on the sideline. Hopefully get some updates on Ben at some point after the game. R.J. Moore now working with Church. Church leaves it for Moore, who enters this one on down to Jonathan Brown. A beautiful ball for Jonathan. Will he miss this time? Not this time. Again, Jonathan. Couldn't quite. That was a tough one. Tough one from Jonathan. As you saw there, it was just tough breakaway. Had all kinds of times. Very small margin for error in these types of conditions. So a couple good opportunities here to extend the lead. Missed by the Blue Jays, but just under 8 minutes away from wrapping this one up. Gotta get some more breathing room here for the Jays as this one somehow stays in bounds here. There's a lot of congestion now at the bottom of your screen. Rosenberger comes up away with it. He's got a few defenders with him. Here comes Cole, splitting a few, taking it himself, sends it on down to Connor Jacobs, who now sends this one to McLean. And now Jonathan Brown with another opportunity. Here comes Jonathan. Gets called for a petty foul there. You just can't call that one. Nico Sherhot hit the deck with just a small little tiny collision there between him and Brown. And now Jonathan's had a tough couple runs here for Hopkins in the last few minutes. Under 7 to go here in the second half. JHU Invitational. Bob Trossi with you on HopTV. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. Goals have been scored by Alejandro McLean in the first half and Nate Sherendorf here in the second. Matt Asante notched it on a deflected goal in the first half for Drew. And here is where we are. 2-1. Coming up on that 84th minute. Here they come. Drew Rosenberger's in there to make sure that one didn't get tricky for Lefevre. And now Jonathan Brown tried to advance that one. Could not. Asante dumps it off Drew threatening here in the 84th minute. Should be a good finish to this one. Here comes McMinn. And Lefevre gets that one out of harm's way. Sends it on up. Here comes Jonathan Brown with it. Runs right into Sherhot. And Jonathan visibly frustrated after the last few minutes of play. Got to keep going. Just a few minutes away from wrapping this one up. Got to have a strong finish to this game. Lefevre grabs it before Asante comes in. And now he backs off, and all kinds of time. No rushing. No rush at all right now for the Jays. Creedon now looking for McLean. Sherendorf looking for Church. LaRocca was right there to halt progression. Quake. And now Jimenez off to the top of your screen to Correa. Max dumps it off for Sherhat. And now Quake over for Correa. Lenzer and Church apply the pressure, and this one sneaks away. Nice job by McLean to make sure that Jimenez didn't get a nice look at Lefevre's net. And now there is a call made on the field. Lefevre arguing passionately right now with the official. As Alejandro, for a second time today, is slow to get up after another collision. And he's all banged up after today. 85th minute, just over 4 minutes left in the second half. Blue Jays close to wrapping this thing up and improving to 4-1 on the season. Be a nice bounce back win after yesterday. Jonathan Brown misplays that one as it goes out of bounds. Throw in now coming, and it'll be handled by LaRocca. 4 minutes to go. Jonathan will take a seat. Pablo Martinez comes back into the game. Here comes Pablo now. 3-on-1. Martinez hits the deck after Sherhat came in and gave him a nice bump. Sherendorf keeps it alive. Creedon now with it. And he goes head-to-head with Jimenez. Back and forth we go here in the waning minutes. Martinez now up ahead. Chasing it down is Sawicki. Jacobs gets a step. Keeps it alive for Martinez. $15 shots on goal for the Jays. That number continues to climb. And that one goes against the Blue Jays, so now a big opportunity. Got to work quickly if you're Drew. They set up their free kick now as we approach the 87th minute. 3 minutes to go in the game. 2-1 in favor of the Blue Jays. Setting it up for a good finish here at the JHU Invitational. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. Here comes the free kick now for Drew. It's a low liner. Up ahead, first to getting there is Creedon. Keeping alive is LaRocca. He enters it back into the box. Rosenberger's there. He hits the deck, and this one goes up, and away over the left-hand side of Xander Lefevre's net. Clock stops at 87:31. Xander will go ahead and set up his goalie kick now. Clock begins to run. Here comes Xander's kick. All kinds of space. Sends this one on down for Church, but the first to get there was McMinn. Here comes a nice run now. Lenzer's right there, and Xander falls on it before Velasquez could get there. 2 minutes left in this one. The rain continues to come down, and what has not stopped in over 24 hours. Tough conditions here back-to-back days for the Blue Jays and every team that played here today. Blue Jays lost a heartbreaker in the first overtime period just 24 hours ago to the visiting University of Mary Washington Eagles. Justin Carey buried the header off a corner, sending the Eagles dancing on to a victory. Pablo Martinez now comes in, and it's booted away by the defensive Drew. Drew then went on to play the 3:30 game yesterday and took down St. John Fisher 2-0. Rosenberger makes sure that one does not continue to go on. But here comes Drew again, sending it down for another time. Connor Jacobs is right there. He's going head-to-head with Sherhat. Rosenberger. Under a minute left to go here in this one. Blue Jays got to continue to make a defensive stand here for another 50 seconds, and they can wrap up their 4th win of the year. Until then, we're holding our breath up here in the press box. Back and forth we go. Dangerous play now. Blue Jays colliding, suffocating to make sure that Sherhat didn't get a look at Xander's goal. Is there a call? It's going against Drew, a big one there. If that one was against the Jays, I think this place would have gone off. 9 seconds to go. The clock is stopped. Slow to get up is who other than Alejandro McLean. We got to put him in a ice bath after this one's over. Alejandro, what a tough kid. Nicely done by McLean today. He's been all over. 5'9" sophomore from Riverside, Connecticut. Played his high school soccer at Greenwich, and he's put in a tough-nosed game for the Blue Jays. The waning seconds tick on down here at Homewood Field, and the Blue Jays